All right, hi there everybody. Lee Arnold here, coming to you with another Lee Arnold Live, or LeeCast as we're calling them. Now, last week we talked about hard money. I asked you to submit all your questions about hard money loans, and we got a whole bunch of them, and I was only able to cover a few. And because there was so much demand or interest in the hard money lending world, we decided that for this Friday LeeCast, we're going to do more questions on hard money lending. Now again, if I don't get to your question, if you submitted a question to me and I don't get an answer to you here on this cast, feel free to shoot me an email. These are not coming directly to me, so again, if your question is not answered, shoot your questions directly to lee@imthesolution.com. Again, lee@imthesolution.com. So I've got three questions that I've been hearing quite a bit of from many of you. So I'm going to cover those here. And as you know, I can only get about 9.5 minutes into YouTube, and then we're shut off anyway. So let's start with question number one. This is coming over from, I don't have the name, I just have the email address. We'll say this person is Steve. So Steve says, once we have found our great deal and have it under contract, which we all know is the first step, Steve, you're right, can you give us an idea on where to find the hard money required on both a local and larger scale? All right, this is a great question, Steve, and I love the way you've worded it, because the way you've worded it tells me you understand and you all are starting to get it, which is, if you don't have a deal, you shouldn't even be out looking or talking to hard money lenders. But Steve's question says, I've got a deal, I've got it under contract, where now do I start finding resources that can fund the deal for me? The answer, Steve, is very simple. First step, these people are actually advertising for you. So if you go into your local newspaper under a section called Money to Lend, that by far is the easiest place to find potential hard money lenders. They pay to place these ads, and they're saying, hey, I've got hard money, I want to lend you hard money, and now it's just a matter of calling them, telling them what you've got, and then they're going to most likely email you a list of questions that they will need you to provide. Some of the basics are going to be the actual contract, okay? For me as a hard money lender and any hard money lender you're going to deal with, first thing we want to know is, do you have the contract? Let us see it. What are the terms of the agreement? Who are the parties to the agreement? Who's the buyer? Who's the seller? Are you purchasing the property as a person, or are you funding it through an LLC? Now, I'm going to go down a rabbit trail here quickly because this question is going to come up. If you're funding as a person, or funding as an LLC, you need to know when it's necessary to use either. So write this down, all right? If you are buying the property with the intent purpose to flip it, okay, buy it as an LLC. If you are buying the property with the intent purpose to hold it, meaning you're going to borrow hard money as a short-term bridge, you're going to fix the property up, you're going to refinance it into your name and get a loan on the property, then take title from the hard money lender in your own personal name. Now, if you're going to bring in a credit partner, somebody who's got a great credit score that can qualify for a refinance, you would fund the hard money in their name, okay? So your exit strategy is very important to note before you purchase or acquire the property. If you buy it as an LLC, determine you can't sell it or flip it, you then have to refinance it and hold it long term. Here's what happens. You buy it as an LLC, you then have to deed it to yourself to get financing, you then deed it out of yourself back into the LLC for asset protection. Well, what you've done now is you've clouded title. So if you're going to sell that to an end user buyer, they're going to have a very hard time getting financing because you've clouded the title and made getting a loan almost impossible without 6 to 12 or even 18 months of seasoning. So understand, your exit strategy determines your entry strategy, okay? So Steve, now going back to your question, which was, where do I find these guys? Again, they are advertising for you in your local newspaper. Next place to go, I want you to go online, go to Google. I want you to type in hard money lender, your city, your state, and to narrow your search down even further, I want you to put in the zip code of the property. Anybody, any hard money lender that is advertising that they have money to lend, if they're doing their search engine optimization properly, they're going to put in all of these zip codes that they actually lend money in. So by putting in your zip, you will find lenders on Main Street in your town, your little town, your big town, who can lend money for you. Believe it or not, finding money is really easy once you have the deal. So Steve, look in your newspaper, Google hard money lenders, and call every single one of them. And if you can't get funding from one of those sources, either you're not trying hard enough, you really didn't call all of them, or, and this is most likely the case, you don't have a very good deal, okay? Many of you are going out trying to find hard money, and you don't have a deal. You might have it under contract, but you've got a $100,000 property under contract for $95,000. Sorry. No hard money lender on the planet is going to fund that deal unless you bring like $40,000 down, which I know many of you do not want to do. So understand, if you're being told no by hard money lender after hard money lender after hard money lender, you really need to stop and look at this thing and say, do I have a deal here or not? Because if it's a deal, funding is the easiest thing on the planet to get. So Steve, please keep me posted and let me know if you are getting the funding for your deal that you need. Okay, great question. Let's go to, it just says Lon, L-O-N, so we'll call you Lon. Lon, you say, I would like to purchase the duplex I am renting. Would there be a loan I could get? And Lon, the answer to your question is, I don't know. I can assure you though, you will not get a hard money loan because you live there. All right, hard money lenders do not lend to people that are going to own or occupy the property. When we lend to people who want to live in the home, we are now violating all kinds of RESPA laws because we are creating a loan to an owner-occupant, which we just will not do. Myself and every other hard money lender I'm aware of will only lend on an investment property. So the answer to your question, Lon, you're going to have to go conventional. You're going to have to get a bank to give you funding to live in the property if that is your intention. Now, Lon, if you are going to move out of the duplex, and just have it as a rental property, an investment opportunity for you, then yeah, most likely a hard money loan would be available. But based on the phrasing of your question, my guess is your intention is to live there and hard money is just out of the question for you. Okay? Let's go to the last question before I run out of time here. And this is, smbrother13 is the email address. So not sure who that is. For all intents and purposes, let's just say Jake. Jake's question is this. What questions do I need to ask when interviewing a hard money lender to learn about their lending criteria if you've never used hard money? Do you have to bring some money to the table when trying to borrow the hard money? All right, Jake, your question is interesting, and here's why. You're asking, what question should I be asking the hard money lender when interviewing them about lending criteria? Jake, don't go talk to anybody about borrowing hard money. Don't ask a lender what their points and fees are. Don't ask them what their determination for lending is. None of that matters. You only should be talking to a hard money lender, as Steve was, when you have found a deal. If you don't have a deal, that's a conversation you don't even need to be having. Because Jake, if you came to me and said, hey Lee, what are your lending criteria? What are your points? What do you charge? Jake, here's my question for you. What's the property? What is it worth? How much do you have it under contract for? How much work does it need? What are you going to do to it? And then what is your exit strategy? Are you going to flip it, sell it, refinance it? What is the plan? Okay? And if you don't have a deal, Jake, then you can't answer those questions as I give them to you, and it makes you look a little bit unprofessional or at least uneducated in how the hard money world works. And you do not want to come across as unknowledgeable when talking with a hard money lender, because I'll tell you, if you talk to them and what you're saying doesn't make any sense, the odds of you getting a loan are slim to none, and if you do get it, they're going to charge you 2, 3, or 4 times more than what you should have paid because you didn't know what you're doing. So again, the point, if you don't have a deal, nothing matters. Hard money is not an issue. Who you're going to borrow money from, not an issue. You've got to have a deal first. Okay? All right, I am out of time here, guys. Great job, good questions, keep them coming, and be looking at your email inbox for next week's subject where we talk more about real estate investment strategies and how to find great deals. Have a great day.